me again. I just made a video about what I eat in a day, and it's almost a kilo, but I wrote in the description that I always make a little bit more than what I actually eat because I don't want to let myself be hungry. So I eat until I'm full, not stuffed. And everything I don't eat, then I'll just keep that for the next day. So sometimes one package is for 2 days. But yes, I only eat meat and one meal a day. And for the people who haven't really followed me from the beginning, I'm healing from erythromelalgia, and what actually caused the disease is, among other things, a completely vegan diet for 20 years that completely destroyed me. And it gave me this awful disease that made me lose almost everything in my life, my job, my house, the country I lived. I have two citizenships, so I'm also Canadian. And yes, I went back to Holland, and the moving company lost half of my possessions. So I also lost most of my stuff that I owned, my clothing, my books, so many things. Sometimes I'm thinking of, oh, where is that or this or that thing? And then it's like, oh, well, must be lost also in the move. And I know those are just material stuff and that can be replaced, but also 5 of my diaries were lost. And one of those diaries was found in the UK. And so someone had my diary in their moving stuff and had looked into it and read, you know, I think my niece was mentioned in that, and then she found my niece via Facebook, and then my niece told me like, hey, this is this woman in the UK and she found one of your diaries. So one of those diaries came back to me, but I'm still wondering where these other diaries are. That is something you cannot replace. So when I had to start all over again, and especially first you have to heal, first you have to improve your health, because if you have no health, you have no life. You cannot do anything. Because when I was that sick in Canada, I couldn't stand any temperature above 11 degrees, and I was sitting all day in front of the air conditioner with an ice pack in my neck. And when my parents got to pick me up, actually to get me from, they went to Canada, I didn't even know, and then they said, we want to take you home again. And they did with ice packs in the airplane. And oh my god, it was such a hassle to, I was in so much pain. I still have pictures actually, where I'm in the airport with wet towels, trying to keep me cool. And when I was in Holland, I did a request for a euthanasia because I tried to kill myself. But so I had this conversation with my parents that I really don't want to suffer anymore, and I just don't want to suffer anymore. And if you love me, you have to let me go. And by that time, I still didn't know what made me ill in the first place, and so it almost cost my life. I discovered myself that the carnivore diet was healing me, and nobody had ever told me that, eating vegetables, that they're full of the anti-nutrients, it's full of toxins. I didn't know. And I was just in this cult. It was like this, that people say that the vaccines are an experiment on the population. Well, I think a lot of experiments are done on the population right now with people who are vegan or fruitarian, that they don't know what the consequences are long term and what autoimmune disease that you can inflict upon yourself. It's very dangerous. And I see what I eat in a day of people who eat only raw, like I did. And then I really warn these people, please do not eat only vegetables. You have to eat also meat. That's what's the most important thing. It's the building blocks of your body is meat. Um, you can survive short term, sure, but not 20 years like I did. And so it's very dangerous. Some people recommending, vegan diets. And for one person, it can be okay for a couple of years. And for another person, it's good for 20 years. But I think eventually, long term, I think everybody will get sick from that diet. And this is exactly what the elite want us to eat. Or they want to have us eat insects as well. But yeah, so I wanted to add how important diet is. And it's not only what you eat, it's almost also as important as how much you eat and how often you eat. So I think never overeat. That's very important. Don't drink with your meal. Always, have a couple of hours in between drinking the water and eating your meal because you want the digestion to be optimal. So that's why I only drink water in the morning, and I drink maybe a couple of sips, maybe an hour after my meal, and that's it. Also, when I was a vegan, I was drinking a lot of water. I could drink easily 4 liters of water, like flushing all the electrolytes out of my body. It was just ridiculous. And it was all out of plastic bottles as well. But, I didn't know. It's like I was just misinformed. But this is what I mean. This is this vegan cult. It feels like it's like a cult that if you eat meat, then it's against animal cruelty. And it is like, no. Here the animals are well treated. So it's not about animal cruelty. It's about what is your species specific diet. You have to eat what you can thrive on. Not just survive, but thrive. And that is meat. But yeah, all the experiments that are done on the population, and right now the experiment is having human beings eat only fruits or vegetables or insects. But many of these experiments were done. We are in the age where we consume a lot of sugar. That's another experiment. It's toxic, but it's you can buy it everywhere. Alcohol, same thing. When the drugs, the flower power years, that was also an experiment. All the pesticides, the GMO foods, it's all an experiment. And we're all guinea pigs. And we have to realize that, and that you have to make your own choices and be well informed and not just follow any new new fab or a new invented diet, like, oh, I'm going to try this because I think that must be good because that's what they promote. Now you have to really, you can do an experiment on yourself, but not recommend things to other people if you don't know if that's going to make them sick. And if you experience yourself, illness because of a wrong diet, I think it's your duty to tell other people about it, because I don't wish this to happen to anyone. It was terrible, and I wish there had been someone to tell me when I was hitting rock bottom. So this is just what I wanted to add to my little what I eat in a day video. Because yeah, it is pretty easy. It's just one meal a day, and you don't need any time to prepare your meal. It's just easy. Hardly any dishes to wash, and you just can go on with your day, with life. Focus on life, Not on preparing meals, but, enjoy life. That's what it is about. Nourish the body and enjoy life. Okay. Have a nice evening.